Hi again. It's me, of course. So I'm back to talk to you guys about something that I was listening to today on the legislative website for Utah. It was the Health and Human Services Committee for their interim committee. What came up was it was mainly directed by, so it was the committee, but it was mainly like the people speaking was the Utah Hospital Association. And I will tell you right now that I was very disturbed by some of the stuff that they said. And yet at the same time, I was like really grateful that they even mentioned peer support, except for the fact that, quote, a group of them, or whoever the groupies are going down to Arizona to look at some of the services, but it's a peer run organization, right? It's a really good peer run organization, but these groupies don't have a peer specialist going with them. So, or a peer that I know of who can actually speak up, because there were some disturbing things that was said on this audio today, and I'm going to play you one part that was said by Representative Eliason. Eliason, I know that you're trying really hard, but seriously, when you are quoting statistics, they literally need to come from somewhere legit and be able to be backed up. As of right now, most of the statistics that I am hearing are coming from nowhere. Where are we? We're like not living in outer space, people. So I am going to play a small clip. And then what I'm going to do, this was towards the end of the meeting, but this is something that I think you got to know, is that people in America are trying to make mental health laws out of fear for people with people of mental illness, right? They think we're so scary, we better like either commit them, keep them institutionalized. Let's get a bunch more hospital beds. Let's transfer them from this hospital to this hospital to this hospital. Let's make sure they're kept away from the public because they are so scary. Well, I will say that if you see me when I'm hypomanic, I probably would tell you to F off. But whatever, I'm not hypomanic right now. I'm just talking a lot. So, because I'm so annoying. First of all, let me say one thing, though, before I forget. Advocates gone rogue. Any advocate can go rogue as long as you agree with us. So anyway, any advocate can go rogue. We just need your stories. We need you present Monday at 4 p.m. Advocates Gone Rogue are going to be at the Division of Substance Abuse and Mental Health at 4 p.m. If you want to come, I know some of the players who are already going to be there. Like, hi Venus, hi Bertha, nice to see you. Anyway, like I know some of the people who are going to be there. And, but if you have not told me that you're like, going to be there or not, all I need is just to make sure that you're getting some documents that we're going to pretty much walk in and say, this is what we have. No more negotiating for CIT. We've been doing it for far too long. I'm getting a huge headache and a heartache, and I feel like I'm going to vomit. We'll leave all that part out. But we're going to say all that stuff. We're willing to okay. Gosh, I'm being so over dramatic. We are willing to lightly place down what we would like to happen and tell them we kindly refuse everything that you have tried to negotiate thus far. This is what we have. This is what we propose. If you don't like it, catch you on the flip side, man. So anyway, that's what's gonna happen. We're out, right? We're out. So, anyway, how do I get you guys? Like, I can see, oh, there we go. Hey! So anyway, yeah, so 4 o'clock, let me know. Just send me a private message, or you can put a quote or whatever. Or give me a ring, text, Messenger. We've been using Messenger a lot for, keeping in touch with the Advocates Gone Rogue. And we just need bodies there, and we need people who support us. Okay, so right here. Today, first of all, there was a comment made by the Utah, this is the University of Utah, dude. This is like where I graduated from, and I'm pretty disappointed by this. They presented a whole Utah's mental health system, big 40-page packet on how they were going to create the perfect mental health system. But then, what really got to me was the fact that they said they had all these stakeholders who were having these group meetings before they had this big committee meeting. And I'm like, who the hell are these stakeholders? Because I sure ain't one. And there is no peer that I know who is a stakeholder. Actually, people, sometimes we may be lucky that we're not stakeholders. Just saying. But, I'd like to remain a peer, but still be important enough to be considered a stakeholder. And I'd like the same for all of my peers who are listening here right now. Because I love you. Heart. Anyway, so they were talking about how in 1963, the Civil Rights Act came up and they closed down, several state hospitals. They deinstitutionalized a lot of people to give them access to the public mental health system. That should have been a good thing, right? We're for civil rights for our peers. So one of the guys who was talking from the Utah Mental Health, Utah Hospital Association says, I decry that act. Pause, silence, like, what? Like, you decry the civil rights of my people? Okay, whatever. Maybe, we need some Moses to, part the Red Sea so we can all get the hell out of here. Because if they're going to start taking the civil rights away from me and my peers because they think it's stupid and should institutionalize everybody again because we're so flippin' scary, they scare me. Okay? I know, I'm super over dramatic, but I'm so excited that you guys are listening. Anyway, so let's play you something from the end of the committee meeting today. And first of all, let me tell you, this is pulled out of wherever. The statistic was not, the data resource was not given. I don't know where he pulled this out of, but after, I'm going to read you something from a reputable source that is often used in the mental health and substance use disorder world, such as SAMHSA and the National Institute of Mental Health, right? Okay, reputable. This, not so much. I hope you can hear it. Let's turn up the volume. Turn up the volume. Turn up the volume. Turn up the volume. Dance, dance. Anyway, okay, here we go. I hope you can hear it. Okay, here we go. Oh, and if you want to, it was from October 16th, 2019. If you want to listen to this whole thing, it was it's the presentation 2.2, and it's the audio. You can listen to the whole thing. But if you just want to listen to Representative Eliasson say this stuff, forward the audio to, I think it's 1 hour and 16 minutes and 14 seconds, if you want to get quite down to it. Okay, I hope you hear it. Let me know if you can't, okay? Okay, here we go.
This next slide has some statistics about individuals with this. But individuals with schizophrenia or bipolar are 3 to 6 times more likely than average to commit a violent crime. A large study of 11,000 subjects for 26 years found that individuals with schizophrenia and an alcohol use disorder are 25 times more likely to commit a violent crime. I'm not going to go through the rest of the statistics for sake of time, but they're very shocking. Okay, this data has never been shown before until this Behavioral Health Summit. Laura Summers, working with the Division
Sorry. Okay, whoever is listening to me right now, could you please just make a comment or something? Because I'm so sorry, but this is just... What can you do? People but laugh. Okay, I'm so glad I'm having a conversation because all I can see is myself. I can't even see who's watching right now. I tried to wave to some of you. So anyway, I hope you're still watching. Okay, now let's listen to this. This is from the National Institute of Mental Health. And it's like some actual statistics with some actual backlogging of where the data came from. This is a post by the former director of NIMH, Director Thomas Insel, and it was Understanding Severe Mental Illness. He's talking about Tucson and that, you know, the hypothesis was that in the shooting in Tucson, it was a man with schizophrenia who did it. And the topic of violence and mental illness is never an easy one to discuss, right? So because of stigma and incarceration, public safety, involuntary treatment, like we've been talking to about, all of that's in the mix. So, but there is a legitimate talk about, you know, people who may be experiencing like some psychosis or whatever. And yeah, maybe the voices, like the command voices that they say in the clinical world that are commanding you to do such a thing. Yeah, maybe in psychosis. So he does say that, or, you know, so, but he does mention, is it more common? Is violence more common in people with SMI, which is serious mental illness? And that's what he said. Yes, during an episode of psychosis, especially psychosis associated with paranoia and so-called command hallucinations, the risk of violence is increased, right? Let's scroll down a little more. And then he says, but mental illness contributes very little to the overall rate of violence in the community. Most people with SMI are not, and this is in bold, not violent. And most violent acts are not committed by people with SMI. In fact, people with SMI are actually at a higher risk of being victims of violence than perpetrators. So Teplin, it was a resource, Teplin AL, that's what they call it because there's a bunch of authors that have to do with this, found that those with SMI are 11 times more likely to be the victims of violent crime than the general population. I'm sure many of you already knew that, but because Representative Eliasson, and I know if this word gets back to Eliasson, he already chased me down at the Hinckley Institute to talk to me. He can chase me down again. That's fine. I'm always willing to have a conversation. But I'm only willing to have a conversation with people who are applying, you know, critical thought to the things that they are saying out loud. And I'm really sad to say that because I like to get along with the majority of people in the legislature. But if there is not anything to back anything up, I can't do work with you. I need critical thinkers here. Okay? So, and then it says, like, treatment is the key, you know, to help these individuals. But still on top of it, it's just like those statistics that he used was, yes, it was people who were either, who had a mixture of psychosis, schizophrenia, bipolar, and had substance use with those psychotic symptoms or whatever you want to call it. So this is kind of like, I'm sure you guys are like, oh my God, am I like at the university? Like, what is this? But I think you guys need to know, there was so much other stuff that was said, like about in urgent care and how, you know, providing like 2 urgent cares so that officers could come and just drop people off so that they could hurry up and get out back into the field, like back out in the streets. So they didn't have, and these are direct words, so they didn't have to deal with people with behavioral health issues. They could just drop them off and leave. Okay, Right there. CIT is needed, right? This is disturbing. All right, you guys. I don't even know who's watching this. I can't tell. Usually I can tell, but I hope this is quite entertaining for all of you. All right. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Becoming an advocate gone rogue. We're there for you, baby. And we're all peers, and we should all be having each other's back. For those who can't speak up, the advocate's gone rogue, and us as individuals are speaking on your behalf because we love you guys.